Holy Happy Time Murder. What's up, Universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, riding solo on this video, and today we are talking Happy Time Murders. Me and the wife just got back from watching Happy Time Murders, and I gotta say, I absolutely loved it. It was a breath of fresh air, and any movie from this studio that wants to come out, it was made by Alternative Henson, which is a subsidiary of the Jim Henson Productions, if you will. Obviously, it's for more adult-themed puppet movies, if you will. And I gotta say, what a breath of fresh air. It was absolutely great. I champion this movie. Anyone out there that wants to go see it, go see it. But don't take your kids to go see it, because it's filled to the brim of inappropriate for children. Almost inappropriate for me, to be honest with you. Oh God, I cannot say enough about this film. I will tell you that this is one of those films that the trailers really, though there are some of the funny moments within the trailer are within the movie, but the trailer for the most part really does make you have a concept or an idea of what this movie is about when it's really not about that. Or certain aspects of the film are really not like the way the trailer portrays. So definitely you will, there is a pretty good story underlining. It's a story that you kind of can figure out and see coming from a little bit of ways. But I will say it was absolutely good that they didn't take themselves too serious. They took themselves serious enough, and they made sure to have an actual cohesive concept behind it, not just, craziness for the sake of craziness, which I love Team America. But, Team America itself just had this completely absurd premise, storyline, and everything in it was just shock value. Where in this film, everything is not shock value. Yes, there is shock value in it, and most of it just has to do with the fact that they themselves are puppets in a real world. But seriously, there's an actual story more than just the murders and the mystery of the murders, if you will. There's tragedy, there's grief. I mean, it's really good, to be honest with you. And I know a puppet ain't winning any Oscars, but Philip Phillips, the blue puppet, dude, acted his stuffing off, if you will. And McCarthy, as always, she, for some people she's hit or miss, and every once in a while I find myself not enjoying her, but she is at her best in this film. Like, she is on point. She does a couple of, your typical McCarthy things, if you will. But overall, really good, really solid performance from her. Other than the few stereotypical tropes that she likes to do in some of her films, her husband does make another cameo in this. I find it always hysterical when he just kind of randomly pops up, and it's usually, based around sex or a sexual joke or something like that. So it's absolutely awesome. If you don't know who her actual real husband is, just be on the lookout. I'm sure you can figure it out just from the movie. So yeah, this movie is based on Mr. Philip Phillips, if you will. He's a former LAPD police officer, and essentially his brother is a famous actor. Okay, his brother and a lot of Philip's friends are essentially former celebrities, if you will. They had the #1 rated TV show, the first TV show that was able to allow puppets and humans, meld together, be on the same screen, and it was beloved by both human and puppets. Now, in this world, puppets have lost their value, their cherishedness. We don't see them as we did, when we were kids and whatnot. And this movie does have an allegory for a lot of the hatred and racism and prejudice and, stereotypes that we in society today have about, many different cultures, races, and sexes. It's absolutely just plain as day, and it makes you takes a second. While you're watching, you're just like, man, this is what these people go through every day. These are what I go through every day. This is what I have to deal with as a woman, or whatever the case may be. And even just dealing with the homeless, and dealing with people who just can't let go, essentially. There's a scene in the movie where a puppet is literally just dancing on the street for pennies to entertain humans, because that's what they're there for. And Philip comes up to him, and the main actor, or the main puppet, and he's like, we don't have to do that anymore. That it's not cute, it's not cherished. They don't appreciate it anymore. He goes, I know, I don't do it for them, I do it for me. And these kids just run up on him and start bullying him. They tear his eyeball out, and it just takes a second. It's like, man, this is how some people treat the homeless, and it's just not right. We should have a heart, and we should all try to be there for each other. And I know it sounds crazy to be talking about such a harsh subject and such a serious subject in life from such a bizarre and absurd movie, but it's there. It really does put that in the forefront of the movie, and I gotta commend this movie for doing that. I really, really do. Mr. Henson, man, he knocked it out of the park. Absolutely. So, if you didn't know, it's actually directed by Brian Henson, who is, I believe, the son of Mr. Jim Henson. It does star, of course, Melissa McCarthy, Elizabeth Banks, Maya Rudolph. It even has John McHale in it as well. And as the movie starts going, we realize that Philip Phillips used to be a part of the police department. He is no longer, and it has caused a rift between him and McCarthy's character. They used to be partners. They used to be the two best cops on the force. They were just this amazing, awesome duo, if you will. And spoiler alert here, this I kind of have to get into just so you get the kind of scope of the actual movie. There was and I won't go too heavy on the spoilers here, but there's essentially a scene where it's a flashback, and we see what actually happened between them. And McCarthy was taken hostage by a puppet with a gun. And we find out that Philip Phillips, the main puppet in the movie, is a crack shot. He's an absolute ace with a gun. He doesn't miss. He's the most standout officer the force has. And he kind of chokes and he does shoot, but he does not hit the puppet that was intended. It actually ricochets and hits another puppet. But when it all comes down to it, that innocent puppet that he hit does die. Okay. And essentially she goes on trial to say that, he missed on purpose because puppets don't kill puppets. And even though he just choked at the moment and didn't want to hurt her. And there's some more shenanigans that happen in that I don't want to spoil, because I want you guys to go out and check it out. But absolutely, it's really crazy to think how much I laughed at the obsceneness of this film, but yet the undertones and like I said, the serious nature of the film made me think in the movie as well. And so basically there is a murder, as we know, that someone is going around killing puppets, but not just any old puppet. It's actually the puppets that were based off of the Happy Time show, which was essentially, again, Mr. Phillips, his brother was one of the stars of this show. And slowly but surely someone is knocking off all of these characters, and it is up to them to find out who did it. And of course, while this is happening, very stereotypical though, the main puppet ends up being at every murder while the murder's about to happen or just after it has happened. So of course people start pointing the finger at him, and then he's on the run, and McCarthy knows that he's innocent, so she has to go and bat for him. I'm telling you guys, this movie really did have a couple of different layers to it. The more I think about it, that I didn't necessarily see all of them while watching it. So that makes me go, I think I need to see this movie again, because I really do think the acting in it was pretty good. The comedy, the timing of the comedy was on point, and just the bickering between the two former partners was absolutely great. I mean, you could just imagine, you guys are partners, you guys have each other's back through thick and thin, and then all of a sudden something happens, and she's on trial, or he's on trial, and she's sitting there in the courtroom, pointing the finger at him, and basically she's the reason, and her testimony is essentially what causes him to lose his status within the police department. So just that hatred that they have, or the betrayal that they feel for one another, allows them to bicker literally like brother and sister. Like, they absolutely just go at it constantly. There was this one scene where they're actually in a fight, and she holds him up and she bites down on his crotch. And I know it's just a puppet, but I gotta tell you, the theater went absolutely crazy at this scene. It was just the most absurd. You were not prepared for that moment actually happening. And it was just absolutely great, guys. So, guys, I'm not going to hold you guys here. I want you guys to, after watching this, go see that movie. Come back and let me know what you think. Because I cannot be the only person to go see this movie. This movie needs to make money so that we get more movies like this. And not necessarily do movies like this have to be so balls to the wall. They've shown that they could tell an adult-oriented movie and still use puppets, if you will, within it. And I think that's an absolutely great idea. Okay, I enjoy puppets just as much as children. So the fact that there's a movie out there that's for me, and I don't have to go in and hear crying children, and again, no offense to any children, but just I get to see one of these films and not have to deal with what comes with when you go watch a child's movie or a children's movie or a family movie. This was just a room full of adults just cracking up at adult-oriented jokes. Great time, guys. So go check this out as soon as possible. Come back, let us know if you've already seen it. Let's talk about it in the comments below. Let's try to keep it spoiler-free for at least the next day and a half, at least till Sunday, guys. But, guys, absolutely awesome. If you guys want to talk some spoilers, you can go over to our Facebook, send us a message, and I'll gladly respond back and forth with you guys. Also, guys, I want to let you guys know that we are planning on having a giveaway. As of right now, if we can get 700 subscribers, we're about 15 away. If you guys can help us get to 700 subscribers, we will be giving away a copy of Spider-Man for PlayStation 4. Now, if we don't make that mark, there still will be a giveaway. Don't know what the gift will be, but we got to get to that 700 mark in order for us to actually be able to go and get it. Now, we have to do it by the 4th, no later than the 4th of September. We have to hit that 700 mark by the 4th of September, guys, in order for us to pre-order that game so that you guys get the 3 Spider-Man suits that come with it. Now, if you don't have a PlayStation 4 and we still get to that 700 mark and you're the person that's selected and you say you have an Xbox or a Switch or PC or you're just not a gamer, there will be something else for you guys, maybe a Amazon gift card, a $50 Amazon gift card or something, guys. So definitely, let's get there, guys. Thank you so much for the love and support, guys. And until next time, I'm C-Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.